Just trying to capture some of the weirdness that's happening with my ICOM IC-740. Just documenting what it's doing right now. So, I only just noticed this before. No matter what meter position I'm in, turning down the RF gain, which should be the input, so I'm in the voice compressor right now, turns the meter up. I can go to, say, SWR, turns the meter up. There's a bit of clicking there. I can go to the set position of the SWR, turns the meter up. I can go to the collector current, turns the meter up. Which makes no sense whatsoever. If I can tell the receiver's working. It's just in a dummy load, so I'm not going to actually be able to pick up anything. I can hear little birdies showing it's doing stuff, though oddly that's from the calibrator, which is not a calibrated thing. The marker does absolutely nothing at any of the positions, so I'm not sure what those are. Other thing, we are in single sideband right now, and we have no power output. I know it's an average power meter, but there's still no output, so I think that's possibly the mic, because I don't see, there's no deflection, though the meter's being silly right now anyway, so I'm thinking it's either bad front panel switches, or possibly the microphone's not actually outputting audio. I need to get a cable to hook up the key to see if the CW works, but going into transmit on CW, no matter where I put the RF power, I get nothing, even if I click the microphone, so that should be like 100 watts out of here, and nothing, which is making me suspect still something wrong here, and I suspect a lot of dirty switch contacts, because, well, some of these are dirty. You kind of hear that one crackle, but a lot of these switch contacts are dirty, and I suspect some of that. But to prove the output works, I can go into FM, and I get my carrier. So, let me turn the power down, because this dummy load's only a 50 watt dummy load. And I get 10 watts out. Just fine. And the RF power, I have 3 hands to do this, but I can pull it up to 20 watts, so that's working. And the meter actually works correctly, I believe, in transmit mode. So if I go into transmit, the meter is working. So, like, the meter half works, but not in receive mode. A bunch of this, like this, oddly the switch does work, so there, I can see the ALC working. There's the collector current, and I can bump up the collector current, and that is correct. It's not responding to RF gain for whatever reason. So something's weird there. I'm guessing you probably won't be able to see this in video, but I'm guessing the capacitors might be a little tired, because maybe it'll show. Not really, but the display dips down every time I move stuff, and, well, when you key up, it dims a little bit, but that doesn't really show in video either. The incandescent lamp here dims a bit. It's on the built-in AC power supply, so I'm not using external DC for powering it. But everything else seems to be working. IF shift and all that stuff works. Let me get into a mode that'll actually hear it. I'm gonna get one of those tones. So is the pass band. Sounds kind of similar on this mode, but narrow filter doesn't do much on SB, but on CW, narrow filter's working. Notch filter. Oops. It's working. RIT works. It's maybe a little oversensitive. This switch is bad contacts. Really messed up stuff. ZIT, I believe, works. I haven't tested it. Dual VFOs are fine. This is the split and memories. I haven't heard it so often, but I've noticed somewhat, when I was pressing the memory, it's getting a bit of chirp, so the frequency drifts a little bit when I swap, but that could just be the VFO stabilizing from when I'm doing huge jumps or something. Oops, let's scale way up the band. There's a little bit of a cute sound coming out there. Vent selection is just fine. It's a little noisy down here on the 160 and 80 meter positions, but otherwise a couple crackles and spots. So that's why I'm suspecting a lot of stuff, Vox and stuff. Vox doesn't work, which is was why I was thinking of this microphone, because if I go into single sideband Vox, I've had it trip once. Let's go ALC. Let's turn all the Vox, anti-Vox all the way. Test. And if I turn, that's with the Vox delay all the way down, so we should test. No, that doesn't help because I'm just in transmit mode, but you would expect the Vox to trip. The voice compressor does nothing because, well, the mic's doing nothing. Well, that's going to be the current state of it right now. I suspect I'm going to have to clean the front end, maybe take the scope and see there. I thought this thing had no output power because there was some mod in the back where the RF was going through a jumper, and I reversed that a few years ago, last time I tried to work on this. But going into FM and transmitting and getting my carrier shows that that was not the case. It just doesn't work with all the other modes, so I need to wire up the key and see if I can get a CW carrier out of it. Oop. Camera. But yeah, that's the current state. Hopefully I can figure this out.